This is the School of Astrology on the astrological elements, qualities, and polarities that will help you understand the very generic type of person or moment that you're looking at in a horoscope. Please download your free desk reference just in case you wish to make notes. We'll put the link in the description below. The four elements. The four elements are nothing that just someone put together just somehow. They represent the states of aggregation or the physical conditions of all matter. The German poet Friedrich Schiller said about the four elements the following: "The four elements, deeply joined, create a life and build the world." So you will see that those four elements, if they are combined in a harmonious way, like around about the same amount of each in a chart, then this will be a very balanced moment or a very balanced person, depending on what type of chart you look at. If one of the elements is missing, the person would always go and look for this quality in others. Or for instance, if you start a project, and the moment you start the project, you draft a horoscope, and then you see that the element, say, fire, is missing. So you'd be well advised to look for someone with a good amount of fire in their chart to add this quality to the team. You could also have a look at the team members, if it's not too many, of course. And you look at their charts and you realize the element water is missing or not represented well. You'd be well advised to go and look for someone with water in their chart to add this quality, because only then, for instance, emotion and togetherness will come into the project. Then you might say, okay, now, if this is, say, a construction project, we don't need anything like this emotional stuff and nothing like really for the soul in such a project. Please feel free and try that out. My experience is that projects that are really balanced in terms of the types of people who are added to the teams will generally work better than ones that lack certain elements' qualities. The issue is you won't draft the horoscopes for 300 people, of course. The advice is rather intended as a general direction. If you have this in the back of your mind, you might even judge in greater scale operations what kind of quality is missing here. Like in case problems arise, it is that it's all like very much in the air and a lot of ideas and a lot of fire pushing forward and a lot of maybe also emotion, and the element earth seems to be missing. Like nobody wants to go in and put his hands on the concrete issues and start implementing something. Ever experienced projects like this? The element earth could be missing. Right. So you need all the elements, and they all have their share to contribute. Like also without air, without ideas in a project, it may also be difficult. So all the elements add their share to a well-balanced, round type of impression and result. Now, if you find a person without one of the elements, it's not that the person is entirely unbalanced, but the person would look for the missing quality instinctively in friends, in a partner, in colleagues, or in business services. That's around about how we relate to the elements and how we live them. Now let's go through the elements themselves. The element of fire is everything energetic. So if we're looking at states of aggregation and physical conditions of all matter, fire is the energetic part. Also the radioactive material. And it also stands for everything spiritual, not just for everything energetic, but also for everything spiritual, of the spirit itself also. Then the element earth. The element earth is in the physical condition of everything that is strong and materialized, tangible. So everything bodily, also everything tough and hard. It has a body, like people and things. And the element air. Air is everything that is like air or gas, or would also represent the intellect, the mind. And then the element water is everything liquid or fluid and also represents the psyche. So everything psychological, emotional, and the soul. We also have the star signs attributed to the elements, and also this is nothing accidental, that if you divide the 12 signs by 4, then you result with 3 star signs per element. And so they are evenly distributed, and every 4th sign will be in the same element. So they have all the same distance to each other, and they all relate to each other with the aspect of a trine. So we start in Aries, and this is 120 degrees from Leo, and this is 120 degrees from Sagittarius, and so on. This works for all the elements across the entire chart. So here you see the fire trine. And this is the earth trine, the air trine, and the water trine. Okay. So this is how it works with the elements. Now let's talk about the astrological qualities. The qualities are based on the symmetric distribution of a circle, a 360-degree circle, in 3 by 4 signs. Now let's move on to the qualities. They are the first differentiation after the elements, and each quality will contain a sign of each of the 4 elements. This way, this is a very even distribution. Now let's look at them in more detail to make this a little bit more practical. The first quality we know in astrology is the cardinal quality. It's a very active, original, and strong energy. Also a kinetic energy. The star signs that are known as cardinal are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. We'll speak about this in a little while in more detail. Let's first go through them as an overview. The fixed quality is a stable and tough, hard and consequent energy, and a potential energy, as you say. The star signs that are known as to be fixed quality are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. You already see, if you have your natural horoscope in mind with the star signs in their natural sequence, that all these signs are 4 signs apart. Then we have a third quality, the flexible quality. This is an adaptable gas or air type or elastic energy, a transformed energy. The flexible quality star signs are Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. All right, now let's look at this in a little more of detail, so you could better grasp the type of quality that is intended as a descriptor for the signs when we speak about qualities. So let's start with the cardinal quality. First, Aries. Aries is known as the first sign and like the initial flame. And if we think of the quality of a flame, we can also think of the way we could control flames. And at times, this could be seriously tough to do. We don't speak about the flame of a candle, which is rather small and a calm energy. Nevertheless, it can cause a huge fire. And if we think about fires, like for instance bushfires in Australia or in California, then this is an energy that is, even for mankind with huge efforts, hard or not at all easy to control at least. So cardinal quality is with Aries, this massive, original, strong energy of fire. All right? So this is how you would work this. Up next, let's try the same with Cancer. Cancer would be associated with the cardinal quality of water. And again, if we think about a few droplets, then this may not cause like this massive energy that we consider or weigh in as something really active, original, and strong, like a cardinal energy would be. But if we think about rivers and waters in general, and about waterfalls, and how rivers make their way through all kinds of areas, and how difficult mankind could find it with floods to control, and even to live with, at times, this can be really tough and almost uncontrollable. The next cardinal sign would be Libra. So how can we think about cardinal quality and kinetic energy in the element air, or especially with Libra as a representative of the element air? All right, then let's think about original strong energy in air. This would be storms or even explosions or air pressure, right? This is an enormous energy of cardinal nature that nature can let loose. And again, original and strong energy, very difficult to control. This doesn't mean that the sign Libra would cause explosions, of course. This is not the way we use qualities. The way we understand the qualities is that we associate with, for instance, in this case with Libra, not just the qualities of balance and harmony as something rather gentle in our minds and very beautiful and tender, but that we are also aware that the energy of Libra can be something extremely powerful. Like if you think of how wind balances out between two world regions with different air pressures, and then in between those two areas with low and high pressure, there can be some seriously strong winds or thunderstorms or storms going on to balance this out. So balancing out with Libra is something seriously strong as an energy. The Libra energy isn't just this lovely, put-together diplomatic energy. Diplomacy can at times step on others' toes with quite some force, but in style. The fourth cardinal sign is Capricorn, an active, original, and strong energy associated with the element of earth. So if we consider then the energies that are necessary to create mountains or mountainous regions so that they become mountains, then we can get already a little bit of an idea what the geological formation of a mountain means as a resisting, original, and strong energy. Like there can be a lot of storms and waters and fires, the mountain will still persist and resist. So this is a very strong energy related to the energy of Capricorn with a background of element Earth. Now we went through all the elements in the cardinal quality. Let's do this exercise in a little bit more detail also in the fixed quality, and look at the star signs with the fixed qualities and how to understand this. Starting with Tauros, the fixed energy and the element Earth could be found as, symbolically of course, the soil that we find almost everywhere on Mother Earth. And if you consider how difficult it is, like to move soil from one place to the other, this could be quite some undertaking. If you're not just thinking of a few spoonfuls of soil for the balcony plants, of course. But if you're looking at a couple of acres and moving the soil from one place to the other, this can be quite tough an undertaking. So this is the type of energy we could think of here. Now the element fire in the fixed qualities would be represented by Leo. And here we could think about the fire in its nature when it's stable to burn for a very long time. So this is the quality we could think of here with Leo. Now how do we look at the element water in a fixed star sign? There we look at Scorpio. And while we would look at Cancer with a river-like image, we could look at Scorpio with fixed energy with the image of a lake. For instance, even a very deep lake or also stagnant lakes or dam lakes. This all seems very calm, but also very stable. but the energy has a high potential. If you consider that a dam might break and all the energy let loose, this can cause a lot of damage. So this would be the potential energy in the water element represented by the fixed sign Scorpio. Now, if you want to think about the fixed, stable, tough, hard, and consequent energy in the element air, of course, due to the division of the chart, we would arrive at Aquarius. But to think of the element air with a fixed quality seems not logic at first, right? Especially because air as an element isn't exactly hard and tough at first sight. The fixed properties of air would be ideally reflected as the electromagnetic voltage that can generate great intensity. Today, we can imagine this type of quality with the element air. But if we look back on the history of astrology and at the time when electromagnetic waves were discovered, it's admirable to think that the ancient already came up with this type of division without knowing about electromagnetic voltage at all. The third quality is the flexible quality, an adaptable gas type elastic energy. How does the element air, here represented with Gemini, demonstrate the flexible quality? The air would be associated with being flexible, overall, of course. It can also be fixed and cardinal, as we heard earlier, but the easiest association is actually to see air as something very flexible and easily flowing. Like the star sign Gemini. The Gemini energy would also go from one person to the other and make connections, and Gemini would do this with ease in a very easygoing manner. The flexible quality in the star sign Virgo will be the flexibility of the element Earth. How to imagine this? We could think of this quality and energy in the ability of Earth and of soil to fall into the smallest pieces and to fall apart completely and almost dissolve until the outcome would be dust. The flexible energy in fire, in the element fire, would be represented by Sagittarius. Here we imagine the element fire to travel far distances, even in the cosmos. And if we think about the many stars that are actually suns, individual suns, then they can travel far distances and still represent the element fire and the flexible quality at the same time. Last but not least, the flexible quality in the element water will be represented by Pisces. And Pisces, where the symbol is quite oftentimes being depicted with the image of an ocean, we remember that we had Cancer with the image of the river, we had Scorpio with the image of the deep lake, and now we have Pisces with the ocean as a symbol for water. And even though this image appears rather huge and really like a large type of idea, and still flexible in that we can put our hand in it, or that wind will blow and create waves. So this is the type of flexibility that even with such a large idea and concept like an ocean, we would be able to imagine the flexibility of the quality. Now there's one more distinction that I would like to go through together with you in this lesson, and this is the polarities. We'll look at the more generic types of interpretation and something like a generic type of description for a person. And the polarities are very helpful for this. And we have only two of those, the active and the passive signs. So the active signs would be Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. The passive signs are Tauros, Cancer, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn, and Pisces. So how do we work this out? There is one very plain rule to work it out, like every second sign would be of the same polarity. We start with an active in Aries, and then comes the passive Taurus, and the active Gemini, and then comes the passive Cancer, and so forth. So this is very easy. Even if you don't know by heart, you don't need to. You'll be able to work this out easily while you have the chart in front of you. If you look at the chart, how do you use these polarities now? The best way actually is to check how many planets are in active signs and how many are in passive signs. And then I would also recommend you add at least a rising or ascendant, and also check whether the rising is in an active or passive sign. And then to basically sum this up and check whether the person leans more toward the active or toward the passive signs. And this would give you another descriptor for the personality. All right? Okay, that was it. See you in the next lesson. We hope you find useful content on this channel. Thank you very much for your feedback. Please also comment what interests you. We'll try to cater to the most requested themes first. Please subscribe to stay updated with free content every Sunday. And remember to activate notifications if you wish to be informed about new content. Thank you so much for your interest, and see you again soon on this channel.